Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Network Merchandise Shop. Pick up your logo merchandise by heading over to abvnetwork.com, clicking on Shop, and start filling your basket today. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers a fully customizable carrying case that allows you to take your favorite distilled spirits or cocktail ingredients with you. Whether you're looking for something for yourself, a customized gift, or logoed items for your business gift shop, the Bar to Go can help. Check them out at thebar2go.com. That's the number 2 in the Bar to Go. Don't forget our friends at Neely Family Distillery now ship their unique distilled spirits directly to you. To order yours, simply call 859-394-3258. Tell them the ABV Network sent you. And now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we're going to discuss who we think will be changing the world of bourbon in 10 years from now. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Lori Mangum, Jim Fosnot, and Danny Kennard.
Hey, gang, what's up?
Hey.
How you doing?
Hey, so we're going to have some fun. We're going to look into the crystal ball 10 years ahead, and we're going to see who are the movers and shakers at that time. I'll throw one out there right now, just as a little bonus. This isn't part of the show. I feel like 10 years from now, Eddie Russell retires, Jimmy Russell takes back over and is the master distiller once again, and he takes it for the next 50, 60 years is my prediction. We'll see. But we'll get to the show after the break. For right now, Jim said there's something you want to talk about. What is that, Jim?
So if there's a sport that you don't typically watch, but what would you watch if the participants had to drink ahead of time? And let's take motorsports out of this because we're not encouraging drunk driving. What sport, if they had to do Danny's famous 9-ounce pour before they participated in?
Okay, they have to do a 9-ounce pour. Let's make them go. Let's make them go for it. They got to do a 9-ounce pour.
What would you want to go watch?
Okay. I would say, well, a lot of them would be fun. I'm thinking about a lot of sports, but I wanted to go just because so many bar fights start with that. Let's do professional boxers. So because I think it would be an equalizer. You know, somebody who's really
good one.
You don't know how they handle their alcohol. Maybe a lesser fighter who just holds their alcohol better, takes out one of the big time favorites. I don't know.
And you take away their coordination with that, so you just have these big balls of anger. Just how you do when you're just mad and drunk.
Yeah, so that'll be mine. That's what I'll say.
That one's good.
That one's good.
What do you think, Danny?
Well, actually, to tell you the truth, I've gone away from professional football to only watching college ball.
Okay.
And then,
college kids don't drink, or you must have had a experience with that.
Well,
feels like we drank a lot back then.
My favorite team is UT, but anyway. The second thing I would actually watch besides my college football, I would actually think a good competitive sport would be soccer.
Soccer?
Because I mean,
well, it's so boring when they're sober. Maybe it could be good when they're drunk.
Yeah, that's a lot of contact happening. That would be good.
It's a lot of running too when you're drunk.
Yeah. A lot of throwing up on the field.
Yeah. That would be not fun, I don't think. All right, Lori, what would be a sport you would watch that you think maybe improved by the introduction of a 9-ounce shot right before participating?
I tried really hard to understand and follow this sport because my brother was an athletic trainer in it for a while. But tennis for me is terribly boring to watch, at least on television. And I think it would be really fun to have some of these like super intense tennis athletes swing and miss and laugh and fall and twist around with their momentum.
Do a total,
bite it on the pavement.
Okay.
Yeah, that'd be
I think
great.
that's good.
So,
all right, McNew, how about you?
Okay, so golf is boring as hell to watch, right? I don't know how anybody watches this. I don't know why people go to these events, but
Right.
golf is fun to play because you're just getting lit out there all day. I want to see professional golfers get lit and see how good they are. Sir, you are not getting to the green. You just take your shot. And
John
have fun.
Daly will make a comeback.
Yeah, oh man, you gotta love John Daly though, right? Like that man.
Oh,
is
sure. Who
iconic,
doesn't love
but
John Daly? Yeah.
yeah, I think he could have a training camp, John Daly training camp, get all those real professional uptight guys lit before they go play around.
Yeah.
So what I'm kind of hearing is that it would be kind of fun of golf, all the boring sports meets wipeout.
Oh,
Yes.
exactly.
yeah.
Yes.
Right. So
Yeah.
that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Wipe out.
Jim, what are you thinking? You asked a question.
Well, it's a popular sport, but I can't stand to watch it. But nothing would be better to me than to watch gymnastics.
All right, that's
Okay,
Your
dangerous.
average gymnast weighs like 84 pounds, and they're going to drink a
Super
9-ounce
dangerous.
shot.
Men's
They'll just be
gymnastics,
dead. They'll be dead.
It can be men's gymnastics. We're not talking about the
Let's be
13-year-old
really
girls.
specific. Like, how about that pommel horse? Just drunk pommel horse.
Can you imagine,
Or
you imagine a
the 10-meter
board-
dive, the 10-meter diving competitions. Either
Oh
one
my
of those.
gosh.
Oh, yeah.
You're not really getting hurt. You're getting belly flopped or smacked, whatever. But that'd be hysterical to watch.
They'll be fine. They'll be fine.
I'm just imagining like a floor routine, all those flips. Like you're going to get to the end and just lose everything. You're just going to throw up.
Yeah.
You can't do that.
It would just like hit and bounce out. Just
Way more entertaining.
gone.
Way more
Wipe out.
entertaining.
Yeah, true. All right. Well, guess what, gang? It is time to drink. I'm going to go first because I'm not really a participant. I'm doing a special reserve from Weller, and it is a screw top. Screw top. No cork pop. All right. Lori, you're first. You won it
All
last
right.
time. What do you got this time?
I went up to Huber's Orchard and Starlight Distillery recently and in Indiana and got a little of the Starlight Distillery Carl T. Huber's signature straight bourbon whiskey.
All right. Wow,
Ooh.
Lori.
Wow.
Lori's
Lori hasn't been on a while. I think she's been practicing or something.
I got my mojo.
Yeah. Okay. So Lori's got the lead. Jim, what do you got?
I'm going with some Wilderness Trail bourbon whiskey.
Looks like a new bottle. Okay, that was good. Not as good as Lori's though. Lori had a cannon. Next up is McNew.
I don't think mine's going to do much. I have the Wiseman by Kentucky Owl.
Oh, no, nothing there. All right, Danny, you're last but not least.
Well, I also have the
Wiseman.
Wilderness Trail
Okay,
from Dean's. It's a store pick.
gotcha. No, nothing there.
Not much.
Nothing there. No. Lori, 2 for 2. How about that?
Feel good, Steve. I'm
Heck
going to
yeah.
go for 3.
All
And then I
right.
have some screw tops later. So
Okay. All right.
Do you
Well,
have your
cheers,
Cork Pop
gang.
champion shirt yet?
Yeah. Order your Cork
Cheers.
Pop Champion shirt on
I
Amazon.
need to,
Cheers.
right? On
Yeah.
Amazon. It's a giant cork on the back of that shirt, guys.
It is.
Oh,
It's,
yes.
it's giant.
It
Like,
is giant.
And wear it proud.
so huge.
Trust me.
What happened why there was a toasted marshmallow on the back of my shirt? I had to explain it.
All right, what we'll do next, we'll take a quick break. And then when we come back, we're going to talk about 10 years from now, who's going to be really running this industry. We'll do that in just a few. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and I'm excited to announce a brand new partnership with Leatherwood Distillery in Pleasant View, Tennessee. Many of you have perhaps heard of Leatherwood via our co-host on the Bourbon Daily, Kaylee Baker, who works there. Well, they're now an official sponsor of the network, and we look forward to everyone getting to know a little bit more about them. Company founder Andrew Lang brought his brewing and distilling hobby with him during his years of service as a Green Beret in the United States Army. Whether he was at his home base of Fort Campbell or during tours of duty in places like Italy or Afghanistan, Lang distilled whatever was available to him locally. We are excited about getting to know Andrew Lang and his team better via our programming and are planning a trip down there for the ABV Network crew very soon. In the meantime, check them out at leatherwooddistillery.com, where they will ship bottles directly to you, including their special Remembering 9/11 series, which is raising money for military charities. Seriously, get out there, buy some bottles, help a good cause, and let us know what you think. We're really excited about this partnership. Hello, this is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, and let's talk for a moment about our sponsors, the people that make this show happen. First up is our friends at Moonshine University. In 2017, I completed my Executive Bourbon Steward certification at their office in Louisville. The information I learned through lead instructor Colin Blake and their team there is something that I continue to draw upon frequently in my role at the ABV Network. It truly is the standard of establishing a benchmark of knowledge of the bourbon industry. From history to production to brands and people, it's all there. Check out their full listing of programs, including Executive Bourbon Steward certification, production classes if you're considering starting a distillery, and much more at moonshineuniversity.com. I also want to talk about Neely Family Distillery. Back in May of 2018, I met Royce Neely at Limestone Branch's Craft Bourbon Festival. It ended up not only being the start of a great friendship, I started to truly learn about what makes craft whiskey so amazing. You see, I had been a bourbon drinker for over 30 years at that point, and like many people who had been drinking bourbon a long time, I was hard-coded into thinking big bourbon was where it was at and craft was on a journey to get there. Spending time with Royce and learning the things he does to make his whiskey taste better started to really get me to appreciate how things like sweet mashing, open top fermentation, pot distillation, and the grains you are using not only makes your product taste better coming off the still, but also out of the barrel as well. I still love heritage brands and they make up a bulk of my collection. But when you find a craft distiller that is truly dedicated to the craft of distilling, you are drinking some of the best whiskey out there on the market today. That's exactly what's happening at Neely Family Distillery today. Check them out on the web at neelyfamilydistillery.com, or better yet, stop by and see them at their distillery in Sparta, Kentucky. And now, back to the show.
Scott Pinkowski loves the Bourbon Daily.
But can I have a kiss?
No. That doesn't work.
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about who is changing the bourbon world 10 years from now.
Yes, we are. So, I mean, one standout, and I don't think this one can be denied. Freddie, no. I mean, he's already doing huge things. He's impressive. Obviously he works for the biggest bourbon company in the world, and they're doing all kinds of cool. They're doing things that big bourbon companies do. They're doing things that small bourbon companies do. I just like what he's got going on, and I think that he is going to be one of the people that everyone's talking about, and really has a chance to be kind of a once in a generation type of distiller if things keep going well for him. So we'll see what happens. It's going to be a fun career to watch. What was that, Jim?
Kind of single-handedly bringing back blending as well. Like,
oh yeah,
an industry thing again, and it's he was first on my list, so I agree.
Yeah.
But if you're not talking about the big bourbon guys, right, I think the craft guys is going to be coming up quite awesome, because I mean, these craft guys, they're putting out 2 to 4 year stuff, and then it's great stuff to drink, but I think in the next 10 years, they'll come out with something freaking more awesome than what they have.
This is about naming names. So who are some of you want to throw out there, Danny? Who do you think are going to be the movers and shakers?
Well, how many are you going to limit me to?
Well, it depends on if you're just doing a list, you can do up to 100. If you're going to explain each one, maybe 3.
No, I'm not going to explain them, but
okay.
The Kentucky side, I will have to say Neely's. I mean, plain simple.
He's
Love
definitely,
he's
on the upswing. Yeah, his stuff's great. Mm-hmm. Yeah, he's got a lot of cool things in the works.
If I'm going near home,
yeah.
So I live in St. Louis. I'm from Texas, but anyway, the nearest guy to me, he's not actually St. Louis, but he's Illinois, but he's pretty close to me. I would say Adam Stump.
Yeah. Adam Stump.
He's got some great stuff.
He's going to be a big
I would say Gary from Woodhat. I think he would, or whoever his predecessor is from that.
Successor.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then I would have to say still 630. And then one more, which
Okay.
I know she is not actually a bourbon or rye. She is more of a what they call in
Yes.
Did you do that
shoot,
shot when
I
you were
forgot
liquidating?
where her husband is from. But
Okay. Yeah.
here in the United States, she's considered a schnapps, not a brandy.
Okay.
But it's Lynn.
Lynn. Okay. Lynn Schnapps. Shout out to Lynn. We like what you got going on with the Schnapps.
She knows who she is.
Yes. Yeah. I want to throw a name too, as you hit a lot of St. Louis right there. You can't say St. Louis without St. Louis's own Jackie Zykan. She has had an incredible run these past, 4 years, whatever she's been doing, 4 or 5 years. And the next 10, it's only going to get better for her. I mean, Jackie Zykan is a superstar. And she's a future
True.
Kentucky Bourbon Hall of Famer for sure. Yeah. She's doing amazing stuff.
Yes, for Michter's. Yes, she is.
So when you sent this information out to us, when you sent this out to us, you're like, who's going to change the world of bourbon? Not like, so that's how I was looking like, who's going to be the biggest deal is how I was looking at it. And for me, I was looking at Fawn Weaver with, what she's done.
Sure. Heck yes.
Yes, exactly who I was going to say, Jim.
Well, you're talking about the things that she's doing for the African American community with the scholarships for all the relatives of Green, starting the distillery school, like an apprenticeship for Black distillers, the Black Association that she's helping fund some Black distilleries and stuff like that. So just to get that community involved in the industry is going to be a huge deal in 10 years because they're all just starting now. And so it's really cool to see how she has taken her success is going to help her community be successful as well. I think that she huge impact on the industry. You may not think of this bottle or that bottle, but overall, what's coming to market is going to be impacted by her.
Yeah, agreed 100%.
Absolute rock star, just like her personality. Every time you hear her speak, like you're always inspired by Fawn Weaver. I absolutely agree, Jim.
Yeah, she's magnetic, and she's already inspired several smaller African-American owned craft distilleries like Bro Brothers on the west end of Louisville. Fresh Bourbon out of Lexington are two that are kind of up and coming and are gaining some traction and really following, kind of her lead. And I'm excited to see more of those craft spots open up in underserved areas. They're creating jobs, they're building momentum. Other businesses are attracted to the area, including like restaurants and gas stations and places that are going to serve the folks that work there. And that's exciting for those communities outside of the industry, but also I think those kinds of things point to just the power of bourbon beyond the bottle. And that's one of the things I love about the bourbon community is that it fosters the bigger C community and does so much for the places that it's being made.
Yeah. And it's just so cool too, because it shows you what one person who has a vision and a dream, what they can do with that. Fawn Weaver, what she's been able to accomplish is not easy. I mean, that's complicated and it's hard. And there's funding and all kinds of, besides all the regulations and all the stuff she's gone through, and to be able to open a distillery and get a bourbon that's so well awarded and all, she's definitely an amazing person. So that success is well deserved. Everything she's got going on for sure.
100%.
Who else 10 years from now is going to be a big time player?
So Lori was drinking them. I think Starlight out of Southern Indiana, like they already have their little fan club. There are tons of Starlight.
Good too.
And people, and I think it's more of a destination. Like people are like, yeah, let's go to Kentucky for the weekend. Absolutely fine. Absolutely amazing every time. But Starlight's a destination. And I think people are catching on to that. And I think it would serve them well to have accommodations there to like stay and experience like a whole farm weekend. And same thing with Hard Truth. So I think distilleries that have the room to say, hey, come stay for a weekend, do the bourbon tour, do the whatever tour, and just be an inclusive experience. I think that's going to be a game changer in 5 to 10 years. And I think a lot of people are already looking into it.
Yeah, bourbon destinations are huge, and it's not just limited to the Bourbon Trail here in Kentucky. People are going to Chicago, they're going to Colorado, they're going to, places that they want to drink at, legendary bars and visit distilleries. And
so, I was saying that Dance Crossing, like I haven't been there yet, but I'd be remiss to say, like, I think what they're doing, I think a lot of places should do, like Airbnb the property. I think that's going to be a game changer for bourbon in a few years.
Yeah. Wally Dant, who is certainly on the uptick. 10 years from now, he could be a really big thing with the way he's doing things. And really has this thing that a lot of people are talking about doing, but he's really actually doing it. I mean,
he just did it.
He's got the bed and breakfast going on there. He's got the, the amphitheater, and they're working on more stuff too. So train stop and all kinds of things. I mean, that's impressive. Really cool.
Yeah.
Anybody else stand out? Be a player?
I mean, there's so many, like, I was trying to think about it today. I'm like, there's really so many people, like you could throw anybody on this list, and who are we to say you're wrong? Honestly, we don't know what's going to happen.
Well, we have ideas, right? Elizabeth McCall, obviously, from Brown Foreman. I mean, that's going to be, she's the next master distiller in line, and that's a big company. And so we don't know necessarily who Generation Next is at the other distilleries, but when you're talking about, Buffalo Trace, 10 years from now, Harlan Wheatley might be, stepping down. There's going to be a lot of opportunities within the industry. It'll just be when they open up and who goes in there. So, well,
a lot of it's going to be also things have only been open a few years now. As they build up inventory and they've got product laying down for, 8-10 years, you're going to see a big buzz come out of some of these guys that actually, had the inventory to age it properly. Then you're going to see some big guys. That's where I think, we talk about Adam Stump for a minute. I think Adam's going to put the St. Louis area on the map from a destination standpoint with what he's doing. I mean, the capacity has just increased too. The new facility he's building. That guy is just doing it right, and it's going to do nothing but help the bourbon industry in the Missouri, Illinois market there.
Yeah. I mean, what bourbon fan doesn't want to see an operating still from 1920s era? So, over 100 years old that he's going to have, in his distillery. I think this is something that people want to see. So again, he's creating a destination area where that didn't exist before. So that kind of stuff's huge. So there you go. There's some ideas on who we think is going to be leading the future, and it'll be fun to watch. So should be a good bourbon coming out, and plenty of stuff getting laid down right now. So we should be in good shape for many years as bourbon fans. We'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. We'll start with Danny. Danny, where can people find you?
You can find me at Facebook at Danny Kennard.
All right, Lori.
You guys can find me on Facebook and Instagram at Spirited Curves.
All right, Jim.
You can find me on Facebook at Jim Fosnut or on Instagram at FozJim, FAZZJIM.
All right, McNew.
I am on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find. I'm at Steve Akeley on Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. That thing's abvnetwork.com. Check it out because everything that we do is out there. Previous shows, blogs, so much more, abvnetwork.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
All right. Great job today, gang. For our audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
See ya.
Later.
Bye.
Peace. Before we finish the show, let's chat for a moment about Moonshine Still Pro. Moonshine Still Pro has a full line of products to help the home distiller. Whether you just want to experiment on a small scale on the stove in your kitchen or try your hand at a bigger setup in the backyard, Moonshine Still Pro can help. They have different still offerings as well as accessories and even grains from Goldstone Mill to help you make whiskey on par with what you get from your favorite distillery. They can even assist with a DIY still project by supplying some of the parts you can't make yourself. Check them out at moonshinestillpro.com. At the ABV Network, we're lucky enough to have some great friends. Amongst those friends is the Goldstein family, owners of Goldstone Mill. Goldstone Mill is a full-service mill offering a variety of heritage and heirloom grains. Their unique approach of working with mills around the country allows them to offer you affordable shipping opportunities to meet the unique needs of your distillery or brewery. They will consult with you to ensure the grains you are selecting meets the unique flavor profiles you are looking for. If you are a home brewer or distiller and you're looking for the grains that your local distillery or brewery uses, Goldstone Mill is the place to look. Check them out on the web at goldstonemill.com, call them at 217-254-6613, or shoot them an email at hello@goldstonemill.com.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.